Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's SVG here, back from retirement to break down another Unturned map trailer. Today, as I'm talking right now, it's been like half an hour since they just dropped the Escalation map trailer, and honestly, I'm kind of hyped for this map. So let's go over it. So the first frame, we have what seems to be a scenery shot. This is pretty common in a lot of trailer breakdowns. They show how the place looks like from a outside perspective. You can see a bridge, and one thing that to note is that there are a lot of radio towers, and the forestry is pretty green with a few orange patches. So you could say that this season it's set in the season of autumn, maybe. I guess it's something to note. Our next shot is what appears to be a military entrance to a military base or a blockade. One thing to note is that the water tank says 023. Whether that has any relevance, we will see in the future. And that those tanks don't look like something you can drive. It just seems like NPC tanks. And also there seems to be some simple military clothing on top of the tanks. But yeah, this is either a blockade or an entrance to a military base. I'm personally leaning more on the blockade part. But yeah, that's really it for this frame. Up next, we have what appears to be a shot of the main city. It seems kind of like a Seattle clone, if you ask me. Not that is a bad thing, but you have the two high-rise buildings. You have the overpass right in between the high-rise buildings. You can see a lot of similarities. You have the crane. You have a lot of similarities to Seattle here, with this city, which again isn't really a bad thing, but it is important to note if you're good at Seattle when you play Washington, then you should have no issues when you're facing enemies here on whatever this city's called. Let's just call it Seattle 2. Let's just call it Seattle 2 for the rest of the video. So here we have a shot of a helicopter. Obviously this is exclusive to the map. And another thing that's also exclusive to the map seems to be those railings. I'm guessing they're there to replace the ramparts that we usually see when people make these types of helipad contraptions for their base. And then you also have the military guy walking up. He seems to have what I would assume to be pretty high level armor, with a helmet with a face mask, and obviously with a color scheme to match the grass, which will make you hard to see. And that's something we usually see on every map when it comes to military gear. With that, we have the helicopter arriving to Seattle 2, and then you see the meeting that is being held with multiple different player characters, and they seem to be doing a gun deal of some sorts, but that's besides the point. You can get a look of the inside. We have a better look of the city here, and you can see that one of these characters is wearing a gas mask. Obviously this confirms that there is a dead zone, or maybe that this place is a dead zone itself, but I doubt it since the other characters do not have gas masks on. But then you have the chopper show up, and it seems that this chopper has guns mounted on the back. And so this is probably the first chopper with a gun that, to my knowledge, we've seen in a long time. But yeah, then you have a nice combat sequence. You see two of the players getting cooked, and then the chopper guy runs out of ammo just in time for our hero to whip out a pistol. Also exclusive to the map and new. It looks like a Glock, or maybe not, more like an M9, or a Deagle even. I don't really know that much about guns. Sorry guys. But yeah, you can see it. You can see the guy run out of ammo, and then all of a sudden he gets shot in the head, and then the chopper starts going down. And so after the chopper is down, the survivor, this is what I'm gonna call him, seems to shoot down the cable holding a metal beam in place, which is really interesting because this metal beam, or the cable breaks and the metal beam falls on top of a car and blows it up. This might be the most creative use of a destructible environment I've seen ever since destructible environments were introduced. All the way back when I was a fucking high school kid or some shit. This game's been out for a while, huh? But yeah, then the car blows up, so it seems like destructible environments will play a big role in this map. And you should be very careful when driving through Seattle too. Otherwise, your car might get get blown up after it gets crushed by the steel beam. Next, we have another combat shot. We see our player take out one guy chilling in the containers with a what seems to be like an Uzi style weapon. That's what I'm guessing from the iron sights. Obviously, it has a halo sight equipped to it, and then we see him aiming in the distance to somebody else, and I can't really make out what this other person has when it comes to guns or what type of RPG it is. But yeah, he fires an RPG. That 100% is clear to see. And then we have a very clean transition. I gotta give it to whoever made this. That was a very clean transition. And the RPG seems to hit a car or something, causing a pretty massive explosion. Definitely to note that this map has some pretty cool explosion particles, I would say. And then you see a spotter scope. If any of you played Call of Duty, any of the Modern Warfare installments, you know that this is used to call in a precision airstrike. And so this is probably the part of the trailer that blew me away the most. The character calls in a precision airstrike, and then you see a jet fly over and drop a bomb on the base. And as you can see by the impact, the base is completely leveled, completely ruined. I don't know how OP this is. I don't know how rare this is, but when it comes to base rating on this map, then again, this base is made out of wood. But when it comes to base rating on this map, you probably have to be very careful. But I'm guessing this is a very expensive thing to craft, this airstrike. Hell, it might even be insanely difficult to obtain. Maybe it's not even craftable. It's only obtainable by going to the dead zone, and then even in the dead zone, you have like a 10% chance of getting it or something like that. You know, like it's probably gonna be a really hard item to craft, requiring really rare materials, or it will just be insanely hard to find. It might even be a one-time use quest item too, because I'm guessing there's probably NPCs on this map, just like every other curated map that's come out in the past couple of years. So it might even be a quest exclusive one-time use type thing. So it is very important to know that this might be probably one of the hardest items to get in Unturned history. Our next shot seems to be a night shot of a person wearing a ghillie hood and night vision. Really, that's all there is to it, just showing off the uniform that we saw. We also saw at the beginning. It's the same uniform, but this time with a ghillie hood and blue night vision goggles, reminiscent of, I would say, Polaris. Polaris's blue night vision goggles, if you guys remember what that looks like. Up next, we have a few shots of base building. We can see the character walk out of a base that is made out of wood. He seems to have a shotgun in his hands and a leather backpack. I'm guessing that, or a leather looking backpack. I'm guessing that's craftable. It seems like there's a unique moon banner also, with also another player standing on top. It seems like they're just guarding a base. But I wonder if that moon banner plays into the quest line at all, but we'll see. So the next shot showcases the interior of the base. You see what seems to be a AR-15 style rifle on the rack on your left there with some shotgun shells. But what's most interesting is the gun that the black hair character grabs it or breaks off the display. It seems to be like a real gun, and you also have a suppressed pistol, which is important to note as well. The black hair character also seems to be carrying what looks like a suppressed Uzi on their side, at least maybe an MP7 or an Uzi. It's very hard to make out these details with 1080p footage, especially when you zoom in. It doesn't look that good, but I guess that is something important to note. It seems like there is an Uzi. The next shot seems to be people flexing on a homeless person. And there seems to be something in the bottom right that has an image with somebody on the beach, and it's the nighttime. I guess that is important to note. And then you have a shot of somebody chilling right next to a bridge, and then all of a sudden a Humvee or a Jeep flies over it and hits the red barrel, and as you can see, the red barrel explodes. that is very interesting, which means you probably have to be really careful when you're driving not to hit a red barrel and exploding. It reminds me of the landmines in Arid, where, you know, if you drove over that, you're dead. Another shot seems to be, the next shot seems to be a shot of a, what looks like a World War II tank, if I'm not mistaken. It's the KV2 Tank, if I remember my War Thunder correctly. And yeah, this is a tank with a very high turret. And then you see a driver driving in first person, and it seems that he is loading the shells himself into the tank. It's either that or that's a teammate, but I'm guessing it is just the player loading it up. And after that, he fires it into a blockade with a few police officers. Here you can see a bus that says out of service. I wonder if that bus is drivable. But yeah, that's a new model for what seems to be the bus vehicle in the game. After that, you have a nice shot of, I'm guessing what's full gear. You have people with modified G36s. And you also have the guy in the center, which seems to have a G3 platform based weapon. And then you have the left person with what seems to be a SCAR. And these guys set out to a oil rig, and this looks like the dead zone. And it also seems like there is either a ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, or a space shuttle rocket there. And you can see these guys raid with their fully modified guns and their gas masks and their yellow military gear. Whether the yellow military gear is better, we do not know. And then you have this character walking up to what seems to be a computer terminal with the airdrop symbol on it. I'm guessing they are interacting with it in the trailer, because after that you have a anti-air tank with a TV screen that says Fletcher Island on it, and a player standing in front of it with what seems to be a G3 platform based gun. And then the anti-air tank fires a missile, and this missile hits what appears to be the airdrop. Now this is very interesting, because it how do I say this? It makes me think of two possibilities. Either airdrops don't drop unless they get shot down like this, or you can willingly like change the trajectory, or you can either cancel an airdrop, or you can completely change where it drops by shooting down this airdrop plane. It's very, very interesting indeed. And honestly, probably the part I look forward to the most. It does seem like you have to go to the dead zone to be able to shoot down the airdrop. So does that mean that the dead zone is not where you find endgame loot, and shooting down the plane is where you actually find like the best of the best loot? Kind of like how you have to go to Fort Nell on Arid, or how you had to go to the nuclear reactor at Polaris, or most recently in Buak when you had to go through the Scorpion 7 facility. We don't know. And so yeah, this is very interesting. And after the plane gets shot down, you see it switches to escalation, and then you see the plane losing its wing and flying to the ground. And that's basically it for the trailer. Now, I honestly have high hopes for this map. This seems to be another one made by NSTM and Renaxon. Danaby does not seem to be part of this project, at least not a main player. But NSTM and Renaxon are known to be pretty good map builders. I mean, they've had their hand in a lot of the great Unturned curated maps. So I'm honestly very excited to see what they are gonna do there. But yeah, that's it for the trailer breakdown. Let me know what you guys think of this upcoming map. Let me know if you guys think I missed anything, what other speculations you guys might have based on the frames that I've shown you. And yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time, hopefully not in 8 months, but we'll see. I am kind of a retired individual at this point. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.